Hello everyone, it is a wintry day in our Medieval Dynasty guide, and you might be wondering, how can you use winter to its most effectiveness, or even just what can you do in winter, right? Because your farm's not too much is going on in the farm, and you might be kind of like twiddling your thumbs just waiting for spring. And that's a little bit of a waste because there's a large number of things that you can do in winter, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Five different activities or whatever that you want to call them that you can do during winter. And the very first, and this is something that I personally like to do a lot during winter, is repairing buildings and upgrading buildings. They're just like that's like a little task that I don't always have time for during the rest of the seasons, just because it's like I'm busy and I don't have time to fix holes in the wall and stuff. So uh, doing that during winter is a great, it's a great opportunity just because you have a little bit more time potentially that you can use to go around repairing houses or buildings, and then also upgrading them if you haven't like upgraded them with like limestone or anything. It's just like a little bit of a unique opportunity to just kind of get those little errands done. So that's the first thing that you can certainly do during winter. You can see like right there all those holes I'm going to be repairing here. Secondly, it is a great time to go out and do quests. And there are so many quests out there. Obviously, there's like the kind of like the main story in Gostovia with like your uncle's friends. Great time to do that quest. Alwyn is like a special kind of like NPC because he's like really the only one who has like a story. I don't know if like they ever had planned on giving other like characters like a story, but he has one. So it's worth maybe taking some time to do his quest and discovering what his business is all about. And then of course there are always side quests that your wife gives you, that your kid gives you, and that the various villagers have for you too, both in your village and outside in the other villages. And the perk of doing that is you can get items from them as like rewards, but also it increases your dynasty reputation, which you can use to invite more villagers over, and I think it affects your kind of like relationship with the king and the taxes that you pay and all that. And it also can increase your diplomacy skill, which is very helpful because you can use those skills to pay less taxes, or sell at higher prices or buy at lower prices, or just a bunch of other things that are social based, which is also rather nice. And it can be kind of hard to level up your diplomacy if you're not out there regularly talking to people and performing quests and stuff. So wintertime, good time to just go out, help the neighbors, all that. And then there's also, if you haven't completed them, the chapter quests themselves. And these are basically kind of like progressive chapters that help you build up your village. You'll go from like a little hamlet to whatever I'm at now. What am I at now, to be honest? I'm at Hamlet, but so like tiny little village to like Hamlet, basically, um, which is like a small town, basically. And you can unlock different production buildings and whatnot, and having your increase your building limit too as you proceed through those chapters. So not a bad idea to get those done if you haven't gotten them done. So that's basically kind of like the second thing that you could do during winter. Just spend some time completing some quests. Now, a third activity that I tend to do a lot during winter as well is mining. I'm always like, if you're like me and your people are going through their tools pretty quickly, having like higher tier tools that use bronze or even iron tools can help with that. Now, there are several mines in the map. I have a video about those locations, so hit them up. And it's not a bad idea in winter to get as many of those as you can and just load up on ore, because that could potentially, depending on like what ore you're getting and what stage of development you're at, that could potentially satisfy your need to make tools for like that entire year, which is pretty awesome. So mining, go for it. It takes time, but hey, you know what? If it gets you completely all good to go for the rest of the year, then that's like less trips that you have to take during those other seasons, which saves you time. So awesome. Now, the fourth activity, you can obviously, even though your farmers aren't going to be working too much on your fields, as in they're not going to be really planting anything aside from carrots, it's still a great time to make new fields. And I will be doing that myself pretty soon here, because I want to make a poppy field. and get that growing. So it's not a bad idea to like, kind of put your farmers to work if you have like the fertilizer and everything else that you need for them to do that, because they can do that in winter. They just can't really plant a crop aside from carrots that's in winter, because carrots are the only thing that you can plant in winter. But other than that, like you can still have them prepare the fields. Like they're over there right now preparing the flax field because they didn't quite get done with that the previous season. So they're kind of like catching up right now. And I could have them, go over wherever I'm going to be putting my new field. I haven't fully decided that yet. But I could have them, go make that so that when spring or whatever comes around, they're ready then to plant that field. They don't have to spend that time to prepare the field. The field is ready to go. So that can kind of like help you save a little bit of time during the other seasons that, would be wasted otherwise. So, plan your farming, I suppose. And then the fifth activity is obviously to decorate. And I have not done a lot of that myself. I just haven't really had the time yet. But you can decorate your village and your houses and all that, which decorations do improve like your villager mood, especially if like it's in their house. But you can also just pretty up the village for yourself, too, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Like, mine's very barren. Mine's honestly pretty ugly. Nothing to see here, I would say. But, if you're really just not... If you don't have anything to do in winter, spend some time decorating. Have some fun. Make some fences. Play around with, like, the different things. You can drop any item in the game, basically, that you can put in your inventory. You can use that to kind of do, like, some little scatter decorations and stuff and just bring the place to life. It's a good way to get kind of like, a little bit creative with your village. So that's about it. 5 activities that can keep you very entertained in winter, I would say. And goodness knows I got to go do some of those myself right now. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Until then, keep surviving and keep thriving.